Hey everybody, it's Arthur Morgan. Welcome to Graded Point. Whatever. This is. I don't even know how I got here. Next thing I know, I was about to die of tuberculosis, and then I'm here. Is this hell? Who are you people?
This is indeed hell.
Okay, I was making sure. I'm a little worried.
You sound a little drunk there, Arthur. What's going on, big guy?
I just woke up from being dead, Cab. If that's your real name.
It is indeed my real name.
Okay.
I got it fighting Indians
Indians.
back in the 70s, 1870s.
I had some friends who were Indians. They were good people. Until they tried to shoot me. You know how it is. See a guy.
No, I don't.
Is that a woman? How are you doing? Is that people like you on TV shows? What's a TV? How do I know
How do
this?
you do that?
This is the future. What's a TV?
Who's that bald son bitch over there? I don't get this fancy new stuff. What's going on?
I'm not bald, so you must be talking about someone else.
Oh.
Alright, that's enough of that.
I have no idea what you did. You said you were going to do a bit. You didn't tell me it was going to be 5 minutes of...
I didn't know I was going to be part of the bit, so I was being quiet until you made me laugh.
that was the point. I was going to involve y'all when I called you out. That was kind of the thing.
Oh,
Dude, you
I wasn't expecting being called out. I'm sitting here trying really hard not to laugh.
you set me up to ignore the last 3 minutes.
No, I didn't say ignore it. I just said be quiet. There's a difference between ignoring and being quiet.
Well, see, you already knew I was ignoring, so that fucked me up a little.
Well, you know.
I shielded the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of myself.
Good.
Also, is this thing actually live right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Been live
Is it
for
now?
2 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, because it wasn't like
I was
popping.
going to say, because it still says off air on mine.
Well.
Yo, I've been listening to this thing. I have no idea what you guys are talking about because I'm hearing it like 30, 40 seconds later.
You got to deal with
Yeah.
it.
It's working. It's working. It's just
Okay, no, it's just the Google Hangout screen says off air.
yeah.
I reloaded the YouTube.
I don't use that. You know, I don't use that.
Oh.
I use Streamlabs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know, that thing we talked about, weeks ago? So, yeah, I'm using this
It's
instead
the
of
first
that,
time I
so-
paid attention.
Yeah, I'm with Piper. What the fuck are you talking about?
I always thought it still went live.
Oh, boy. I don't know why. What am I doing?
Hey, they.
Don't know what I'm doing.
Hey,
I don't know what
All
I'm doing
right. So
anymore.
Brian Laven.
So what are we doing for tonight?
Okay, first off, I want to make a mention, which found out something that's kind of funny. Before we get started, Bordertown
Pro
has
tip,
been
it's not funny.
Bordertown has been canceled.
Okay,
Whoa.
that actually is funny.
Yeah.
And what did I say a couple nights ago?
That Bordertown would get canceled.
Well, not only that, but then what day at what time?
Yeah, on Friday. Yep.
Friday night.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was earlier today, but still, yeah.
Well,
So is it officially canceled?
Yeah, it's done. Yeah, Bordertown's done.
All right. Because I know a lot of the creators jumped ship after. And you know what, man? Maybe this guy is a rapist. Probably. But, do you notice how these people are just, jumping off on the accusations? Like, they didn't want to work on this thing, I don't think. I think they realized that this was a huge waste of their time, and they're just jumping ship on the first, plausible excuse. They're like,
well, what's the saying that victory has 1,000 fathers and failure is an orphan or something like that?
Yeah.
This book was a giant failure from the start. No one wanted anything
that
to do with
explains
it.
why I never met my father.
Well,
What's happening?
My father is failure.
Bordertown got canceled.
Yeah.
Which we kind of knew was going to happen.
So you said Bordertown, so I zoned back out again and started talking.
No. When I was saying that it got canceled, that was the story.
Woo!
Yeah. But yeah, I knew it was one of those things. It probably was going to get canceled anyway. But the whole
I was gonna say, I think that was gonna get canceled regardless of the little scandal stuff.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I predicted that it would maybe if it didn't get canceled from this, it would make because it's how many issues have already come out? Like 2 or 3.
yeah,
4.
Yeah.
I think
four. Yeah, four
four.
issues. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
nobody likes it. Not even the
Yeah.
SJWs like
I
it.
would have thought it would have made maybe 10, and then they would have like quietly like, oh, the run is concluded instead of oh no, we're fucking canceling it.
Dick, hey, by the way, in the chat, Dick has pegged this stream as being run by gay cowboys. So shout out to you, brother, for getting that.
There is no gay.
I'll bro pack you later.
There is no gay.
Oh god damn it!
Whoa,
What?
whoa.
I was in the middle of typing a Brokeback joke.
You understand,
Hey.
Piper? This is a Christian. And you need to not use the Lord's name in vain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't say
Yeah.
the GD word, and we don't mention the gays.
Right. No, I thought this was a Christian stream in the sense that while we're fucking people up the ass, we don't say the word goddamn.
Yeah.
You're
just
saying a
did both of
Christian
those
stream
things.
and you're just making me assume y'all are pedophiles now, so
That's a Catholic stream. That's totally different.
oh okay.
I'm about to
Yeah.
say we're talking about Catholics now.
To be fair,
They're not Christians at all.
to be fair though, Piper, I thought you were 12, so
All right, let's get to our subject of the night, which is the Sentry.
yeah.
If you can tell from the title, I think I asked the best question about the whole thing. Does Marvel even need a Superman? And my answer
Well-
is no. In all
No,
honesty.
and here's I can
Nobody needs
kind
a
of
Superman.
Doesn't
I can go-
everybody
I
have
can
one
kind
in
of
the squad
explain why they
too?
Okay. Too many people talking at once. Cab, please.
No, don't talk, Cab.
I can kind of explain why they don't need a Superman because all right, DC did their Superman 30s, right? Late 30s.
Yeah, late 30s. Yeah.
And so they sort of can, you know, the super guy with like who's fucking massively overpowered. They kind of blew that wad really early.
Mhm.
Right.
Marvel came along. They didn't get popular until the 60s with their X-Men and all that shit.
Mhm.
They started with the X-Men when they're like team people. They started out small. Like, the X-Men weren't overpowered at all. They got their ass kicked all the time, and you know. But as Marvel
By the Toad. By fucking Toad. Jesus Christ.
as Marvel has continued to go on, they've created more characters, and they've every iteration of like their generation, they've always created like, oh, this guy's more powerful. Oh, this guy's more
Mhm.
powerful. They keep doing that until now. You got Captain Marvel, fucking America Chavez, and then the Sentry, who are just super overpowered, perfect in every fucking way,
Well,
and boring as hell.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also,
Not only that-
I would go against saying the Sentry is perfect in every way because,
Well, I mean, power wise,
Right.
oh yeah,
He is super powerful.
because it just like the weird shit that Superman was doing to like, you know how they're writing weird stuff in the 50s for him to like fight against.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of what they ended up doing with Sentry, but it wasn't like goofy like it was in the 60s. It was like, oh, this is serious Sentry crap.
We see on
shit.
top of that, there's
The
a little-
Void was his Bizarro.
This is a little gimmick that was not mentioned in his wiki entry that we were, refreshed ourselves about the Sentry.
Mhm.
Right.
They had this whole marketing campaign that he was originally created by Stan Lee.
Yeah.
They made up this whole like backstory that it was a Stan Lee's lost creation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the Sentry,
No,
it was like a meta create. Like
Mhm.
he's supposed to have been around the Marvel universe forever,
Yeah, and
but
so
no one
the-
remembered it for some reason.
Yeah, so the joke was
Well, because he was that lame.
Yeah. Well, the joke was that hey, if he's supposed to have been around the whole time, we'll just say Stan Lee created him, and then we
Right,
dug him out of
right.
the archives, and now we're going to use him again. That was the. 'Cause
And
I remember the article in Wizard when they announced his character, and they had people buying it too. People thought that this was a lost. In fact, they said they went ahead and said he predated the Fantastic Four. Yeah, as far as his creation.
This guy, his number one issue was supposed to be in the 60s.
Yeah.
But that issue never actually happened. Stanley did not. There was this guy wasn't invented until like 2005 or something.
Right. 2000, September 2000.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah. He was a creation of the time, but they tried to weave him into the entire universe.
Because they wanted him to be the new It guy.
Right. But even but the thing is, when you look at his original story, they basically did a story about him and then put him back to where he was, and it was like basically, it seemed like the intention was to never use him again.
Yep.
Yeah, they create it. Kind of comes off as they create it for a single purpose, and then they're like, "All right, we're done with him. Let's put him back in the hole."
I would say that Paul Jenkins' like original idea was like not to have an ongoing thing with this guy, and he was supposed to be, you know, like, kind of like a one and done character. You know?
Yeah, like if you create a massively overpowered character, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you can't base an entire thing around because he's just overpowered. Like, what? There's no adversity.
Yeah.
The thing with DC though, with their Superman, they created him so early that they had 40 fucking years of being able to come up with like situations to make Superman, the green kryptonite and other beings and people who would try to screw him over.
Or
so they had that,
or have
they had all that history,
or have his biggest villain being just a guy who's really, really, really smart. Like
figure out ways to screw with him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now, if you think it, well, even early days, like Lex didn't really go after him directly. He just like you said, he screwed with him. Yeah,
no, Lex was always the indirect route because he knew he couldn't fight him head on. And he didn't start fighting him head on until they started building power armor and all that kind of weird shit.
Right. But yeah, the whole thing with Sentry was originally he was not going to be used with any regularity.
Right. Yeah, his stuff was just like it was like a one-shot series kind of thing.
Yeah, it was a miniseries.
Which seems like a waste.
Well, if you're telling a story, if Paul Jenkins wanted to tell the story of, I just want to tell this story, and that's kind of where it came off of. If I can read, where's this thing? Created a Guardian type with a watchtower and came up with the name Sentry. Veidt suggested that the character could be woven into the history of the Marvel Universe, with versions of the character from the 1940s depicted in artistic styles matching those comics of each period. Vetch also suggested that due to some cataclysmic event, all recollected Sentry would have been removed from everyone's memory, including his own. Basically saying, he would have. The idea was like he was always there. He had always had been there, but
something happened to erase him from the memories of
everybody, including himself.
See, actually, that's kind of a cute gimmick.
Right,
Yeah.
I thought it was a great
never
idea.
Heard of them because
we got in the chat. It says Sleazy Base says flexible modular throwaway. Yeah, exactly. He's just an overpowered dude who you need at a certain point in time that you could bring in. It's like, he's going to do this or that, and then you just don't talk to him for another 5 years.
Yeah, it's like
that was the thing that I didn't like was that it's funny because they put this list of powers has healing factor, but then later on it says invulnerability or something, and then later on it says immortal, and I'm like, so why did he need all the healing factor and shit?
His powers are literally.
If he's invulnerable, why does he have a healing factor?
1, 2.
Basically,
3,
he could kick
4,
Superman's ass.
5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, his powers are 8 paragraphs long.
Yeah, and then there's
that's 8 paragraphs I'll never read.
Yeah. And then basically it ends with, by the way, he's omnipotent. And I'm like, you could have just gotten rid of this entire list.
Hey,
and been like, he could do all the things. That's all you had to do.
I'm omnipotent too.
No, that's
Can't
incontinent.
have children. No.
That's incontinent. You have problems with
it. I did just shit myself. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. But no, but Sentry's powers ostensibly derived from the super soldier serum that, quote, moves his molecules an instant ahead of the current timeline. What the fuck?
He's like Dr. Manhattan 30 seconds from now.
Basically, he's out of phase with reality.
Yeah, he's always like a fraction of a second in the future.
Listen to this bullshit. Okay, I got to read this.
But what is he doing in the present, for fuck's sake?
I got to read this, though. Okay, we've got that part. This was designed to be 100,000 times stronger than the original used on Captain America and was modified by Weapon X. So all of a sudden, you're involving the super soldier serum and Wolverine.
Right. The fucked up thing is, for the most part, the super soldier serum, disappeared after World War II in Captain America.
Well, they've tried to make derivatives.
Right, people did try to make derivatives, but it led to some fucked up shit. The Abomination. No, that's not right. That's
the original Abomination. Movie. Yeah, because that was the movie. But the original Abomination was just.
I can't believe I mistook the movie for the goddamn comics.
That's fine, but actually, I kind of like that origin a little better. That he had tried a derivative of the super soldier serum and then got inundated with gamma power that made him the Abomination. I thought that was
right. And wow, what the fuck, Poland ball? But
he still ain't gotten to space.
Well, you liked my tweet for some reason.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah. However, in the Age of the Sentry miniseries, suggested that the Sentry
that's Colin Ball Jr.
is a sentient life force, a refugee from another universe,
Sentient life force. He's a human.
which attempted to break through to another one for its new home, and that it was merely accommodated by the serum. What the fuck?
Yeah, like
Oh, the serum was like, "Hey, welcome in, man."
yeah, the
Yeah.
serum was a symbiote, fucking from space all of a sudden now.
No. Not to.
Thank you.
Yeah, no. Go ahead. I got distracted by shiny shit.
Okay.
Now here's the thing. Let me. Do you mind if I just read his abilities real quick?
Go right ahead. Yeah.
All right, this is gonna take a couple seconds, but manipulation, omnipotence, immortality, teleportation, reality warping.
So he is Dr. Manhattan.
He's basically the one above all, but
Yeah.
like shows up more often.
Too much into the different stories and stuff. But most of the time in the stories he was in like especially in a team setting, it was mostly there was like some MacGuffin that would get him out of the picture for most of the story.
Yeah, that was the thing that always like they actually tried to hobble him,
Yeah.
but the way they went around it was like the most cliched horse shit I've ever seen.
I thought the idea of like the Molecule Man like just erasing him, I thought that was pretty cool.
They should have Wolverine just like
Molecule Man. Was he the guy
Mega-
that had like a big part in the fucking Doom is God thing?
I think so, yeah. Because he can create anything out
Right.
of nothing essentially, as long as there's molecules. But yeah.
There was some good stuff in that story. I feel like we should be talking about that instead.
Well, you know, like I said, this is a retcon. This is Operation Retcon. This we do Fridays.
So what are we supposed to? What are we supposed to do with this guy?
I don't know.
We're supposed to make him suck less, I guess.
We're supposed to fix him because he's
Try to.
disposable.
Well, see, the first thing I want to talk about is like he really liked to rip things in half. 'Cause,
He ripped Carnage in half, which is kind of funny.
yeah, I'm showing some pictures. He ripped Carnage in two because his solution, like I remember reading him in Avengers when he was in the
He
Avengers.
ripped Carnage.
And
That's bad art.
and in Sentry's idea of like solving problems when he was in the Avengers, he kept saying, "I could just fly it into the sun."
Yeah, well, when you're massively overpowered, that's literally what you could do.
Yeah, and like from what I found
then
out,
the question becomes, why don't you all the time?
and what I found out was really stupid is that basically Bendis wanted to replace Thor.
With that
No.
massively overpowered character.
Yeah, let's replace an interesting character with a
Yeah, like Thor, at least he's still got his hammer that he kind of needs to do stuff, but
and also
40 or 4?
40. And then here's him ripping something else in half. I don't even know what that's supposed to be, but I love the sound
God
effect here
damn,
they put.
why is he ripping my mom in half?
I just
he's
love the
ripping
whole-
a phone book in half. That's what his amazing power can do.
My mom is a phone book.
So you're saying he's a power team? He's going around preaching Christian values while ripping phone books in half.
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
Are you saying he's that guy from Full House? Kurt,
Yeah.
Kurt, no. What the fuck is that guy's? God damn, I lost the joke.
I just love the sound effect here. Splort.
I've never ripped anyone in half, so I don't know what it makes the sound.
I just don't think it makes splort, man.
I don't think splort.
Splort is heavily used in like hentai.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
A
He's
lot.
got a tentacle up his ass.
Right? That
It's like-
that sound effect is used like every panel.
That explains why he's,
Cause it's
that
like-
explains
isn't
why
it
he's
like-
yelling.
Because it's like a
It's
sploosh and
splort and sploosh and splurt. Those three.
Okay, so what is he ripping here apart here? The void?
I don't know if I don't think it's the Void because it's wearing a suit.
I think it is. It's his other self.
It could be.
Look at
But
it.
why does he look like
at
a
it.
fucking vampire though? Look at him.
Because vampires were in that year, and Marvel was.
Okay.
trying to
On
get-
top of all of his other, all of his
He's also a he's also a sexy vampire.
Yeah.
Why not, right?
because why
No,
not? Yeah.
he sparkles in the sun. I
No,
wouldn't call that sexy.
no, Daryl. No, you're wrong. He is the sun.
Yeah, he can live in the fucking sun. He doesn't
Yeah, yeah.
sparkle in it.
Yeah,
Oh,
he is
shit.
the sun. Yeah,
Because
So
he
he
actually did
sparkles-
that for a while.
So
living in the
he
sun.
sparkles because he's the sun.
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, but
God,
he's-
I hate
he's-
everything about this guy.
He's
even
also
if
a
he-
vampire.
Oh.
That's why I picked him, because that's like I wanted to, people, because Cab last week he's like, "There's nothing about America. There's probably the worst character ever." I said, "Well, son."
Oh man, I had to refresh in order to see these pictures.
Am I dropping frames? I don't know. No, I'm not
No,
dropping
we're
frames.
fine from here.
Yeah. Pipe.
There we go. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody just fucking spurred
There
out
was one picture of him though. He was actually kind of hot.
But I think this is my favorite one where he just rips Ares. It's just like, I'm pretty sure there's more body parts in this than actually there is people, than there is a person.
Oh yeah, that's like like I've seen like people getting hit with tank shells and stuff in real life war kind of situations.
Yeah.
They don't make that much of a mess.
Yeah.
Not that much inside you. It's mostly water, my man.
God
Like,
damn.
he just rips like, like.
No, but I get like, dude, a lot of comic book, like Ethan Van Sciver has gone into this. Is like his favorite shit to draw is like the horror zombie, like flesh dripping off people's faces kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He loves doing that shit. I suspect a lot of other comic book guys because they like. I think a lot of them like the old comics, like because before there was like superheroes was really popular.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't understand. Like in the 50s and 40s and parts of the 60s, superheroes weren't really a thing. You had
Right.
Superman, and later on you had the X-Men. But before that was horror comics.
Yeah.
Sort of like cowboy movies were all the thing
Like
in
pulp
the 50s.
comics and things like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was mostly horror movies. That's how the Comic Code Authority got started because the horror
Yeah.
comics.
Right.
They were going way far with their graphic.
Yeah, they were going pretty hardcore, and there's a lot of like sexy vampire ladies and
Wasn't it the Tales from the Crypt stuff that kind of
it was
easy,
part of it.
right?
There's a lot of things going on, but
you're talking about people liking to draw stuff dripping. It makes sense that Ethan would do that, considering he's dripping fucking maple syrup every goddamn day. And apple pie.
is he Canadian? I don't
I
understand.
was gonna say, did he become Canadian all of a sudden?
He likes pancakes and pie. Okay,
I didn't.
and pancakes are new to the
To the lore.
guy. Yeah, I hate you guys.
What do we do?
You can't just run with it.
No.
I'm kidding.
Call on that bullshit, man. Let's see. Oh yeah, and here's
Wow. Hey, you're a fanboy.
here's the some of the images they try to do of him, like from the like 40s, and I guess
His old the version Stan Lee supposedly came out with.
yeah, because that was like the big thing, like the one he came up with, like had the mask and everything like that. It was
Well, yeah, if it's a 40s like superhero, you had to have a
I
mask.
like that design. I love that design.
It's actually not a bad design for like
I like
Yeah.
that better than his
an old timey kind of character.
I mean, I
Yeah.
like that design kind of better than his standard.
Yeah, it's better than like
I've got long hair.
his like modern version.
Mhm.
It's just like some generic shit you would make like in a fighting game where you can create your own character.
Dude, I like his long, flowing blonde hair.
Hey, baby.
What you ought to do? See what you ought to do
He's
though.
hot there.
You could
Well, it'd be better if it wasn't blonde, but he's still hot.
Now, what you could do, I just thought of this. Have him wear that mask, but you can see the blonde hair like coming out underneath it.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, but here's the funny thing: when he takes it off, he has a skullet. So he's
Yeah,
basically
That'd be hilarious. By the way, what you don't know about this character is that he's actually like he's not supposed to be like a hot dude.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He's supposed to be just like a fat normie.
yeah.
Well, here's the
And
thing.
everybody,
I'm about to show
everybody
that
puts-
image.
one
I'm
of
about
his
to show that.
powers is that he can, change perception of himself. And this is like you remember Superman puts on some glasses and he's got some fucking X-ray vision shit going on.
Slicks his
So
hair
people
back.
don't- right. So people don't see him. And this guy, in reality, he's just a fat fucking tosser.
Yeah, that's
But-
the whole reality warping power that he has. Is
Yes,
that when
exactly.
he turns into the Sentry, like he's doing his thing, he can look like Fabio, like Muir
Yeah.
Silva.
Essentially, when the Sentry was created, I mean, whatever origin you want to use, I guess the universe created his opposite, and in the opposite is himself, his dark side, essentially, and it's called the Void.
Yeah, what the origin of this guy, the one that makes more sense is that he was just a fucking like drug addict that broke into a lab looking for to fix.
He's gonna score.
And he was one of the things he happened to like either shoot up or drink or whatever. It was the super serum like that's multiplied by 1,000,000. That's why I turned him into whatever. But he was also like a thief and just a drug dealer. He was just a fucking degenerate.
He's a piece of shit. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a good person. He's just a a piece of shit.
But here,
and so the Void is like this piece of shit version of himself because after he turned in, he's like, oh, now I can go save people and be a good person. But he's still an asshole.
No, but see, I would have loved that so much more if he, went in there as a junkie, got his superpowers, and just decided to fuck the world up to make up for the injustices that he had experienced growing up, or perceived, or otherwise.
Yeah.
It just
he just had like
cool.
a giant chip on his shoulder that I'm a fucking junkie. And everyone thinks I'm a junkie, so I'm gonna be a dick to everyone and mess things up.
And it would have been kind of cooler, I think. Mm-hmm. And it could have led him down the path to a hero's journey. But it is, he's just kind of positioned as this all-powerful thing.
I was going to say, like, people who are listening, who will listen later, this retcon is going to be less of, because it's so interesting, everybody come up with their own take and just kind of, it's going to be a full collaboration because there's not much to work with.
Yeah,
I forgot to collaborate. What are we doing?
Basically, we're just coming up with ideas on the fly instead of, coming up, like
the reason I keep zoning out is because I keep looking at his page, and I'm just like,
this guy's
do we need him? Like,
well,
but
he was a cute gimmick. But
to be fair, Piper was the girl that brought us that werewolf thing that we spent an entire fucking episode on. So if we could be there for that, babe, you need to be there.
I wasn't there for that. So,
that ended up being like one of the first unofficial Operation Retcons right there.
No,
that's ended up what we were doing was like saying how it could have been written where it would actually been like interesting.
But here is a dad bod Sentry, I think that we were talking about a few minutes ago.
Yeah, that's what he really looks like.
Yeah, just kind of little overweight. Just
he's got like 40 on him, and he just looks like just an average asshole.
I like that the undershirt for the Sentry logo and everything. It doesn't even fit.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, he's got like a weird because he that's so the Void thing. He sort of like blames all his problems on the Void.
Yeah,
and so do I.
But his wife saying, "Nah, you've always been a piece of shit." Kind of.
Yeah, his wife straight up told like Nick Fury or Tony Stark or whatever, like you need to either depower him or kill him.
Yeah,
because he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's not. He's basically saying he is not a good person.
He's not a good. He may go saving all these people, but like he's not actually a good person.
I love this. The Sentry determines to seek out the base revealed in Doctor Strange's magic mind probe. He can still hear the third voice telling them that none of this is real. Before Sentry embarks on his journey, he returns to Dr. Tikuni. Oh, God. I just realized the whole thing I'm reading actually isn't that goddamn interesting.
And then he had this throwdown with the Hulk, during World War Hulk. And in all honesty, with all the power that they claim he has, why didn't he like obliterate the Hulk?
Yeah, that's the thing with the Hulk. When all that shit was going on, he was just sitting there watching it on TV.
Yeah,
and the president was calling him up, saying like, "Dude, you got to do something. Like, get off your ass." Mm-hmm. And he's blaming it on being agoraphobic.
Yeah, he literally says it's the agoraphobia. Some days is I can't. Sorry, Tony. You'll have to handle this one yourselves. Against an opponent this powerful, the amount of energy that I have to expend if I lost control, even for a millisecond. ...
Yeah. He's like, nah, I can't, be bothered today.
And then we're talking about the Hulk that did get. I mean, this is World Breaker, right? So this Hulk isn't like a pushover. I'm not saying he is or anything like that. He's this is like the most powerful Hulk ever conceived, But even then, with the much as hype and build up that you've given this man, it shouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah, no, he should have just one-punched fucking Hulk into space.
And why didn't he just like fly him into space and throw him in the sun like he always?
Yeah, throw him in the. Yeah, this is a solution.
He's just sitting here like throwing down with him, like actually, having. And what's really funny, if I remember correctly, I'd have to go back and look, but I think how they ended that fight, neither one of them really won. They got fucking shot by like a space cannon that Stark had.
Into the heart.
Yeah. And
oh wait, did you just say yes?
Yeah,
that actually happened.
Yeah, he shot him with a Stark cannon from space, and
into the sun.
No, not into the sun. It depowered both of them, right?
All right.
And then Bruce Banner knocked out Robbie Reynolds.
Yeah, they both turned sort of back into normie humans.
I'm trying not to grind my teeth, guys, but God, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the reason I picked this...
But he's supposed to be all of these things. How did he not beat the Hulk?
Yeah.
Because he's all of those things, and there's complications.
And fucking immortal and invincible, basically, with like 5 million powers.
They wrote omnipotent, but they meant impotent. Yeah.
Here's Muir says, "Holy shit, that looks like Ethan when you put up the dad bod."
You know,
I like that weird beard Ethan has, and he looks exactly like him.
Yeah, you know, if you put a cap on him, that would be, yeah.
It's yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, what did Marvel mean by this?
But you know what? Let's keep for some interesting story here, because we got to find something to retcon.
Let's see. Okay, I got to read this one. This is hilarious to me. During Secret Invasion, that's when the Skrulls were, were like infiltrating the Avengers and all that stuff. Basically, infiltrated Earth.
That does look like Ethan, by the way.
I mean, listen to this. Listen to this. When a Skrull spacecraft is discovered approaching Earth's atmosphere, the mighty Avengers and new Avengers simultaneously head to its predicted crash site in the Savage Land. Inside are numerous superheroes dressed in their old costume. As the Sentry fights one of them that looks like the Vision, it transforms into the Void, blaming the entire situation on the Sentry's hidden desires. Panicking, the Sentry leaves.
Guys ever read the Skull Kill Crew?
He just fucked off.
Here's the thing, this guy's massively overpowered. Nothing can harm him, but some guy like negging him can fucking.
Well, I don't think any of his powers. I don't think they are emotional fortitude. So there's that.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing: like if he wasn't if he was just sort of like a mid-tier kind of like maybe a Wolverine sort of dude, that he's strong, but he's not like fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Then he can you're not good enough, you piece of shit. You're just a fuck up. Because he got people killed apparently, and it's like, you're, all your superheroes, you're just an asshole. And then the guy could be like, well, you'd be racked with self-doubt and be like, yeah, maybe he's right. But when you're basically Superman times 100, why would you ever have any doubt of anything you ever did?
Hey guys, we got to mix the Skrull Kill Crew into this, because that's the only way this is going to be interesting for me. I mean, Reed Richards brainwashed some Skrulls into becoming cows, and then people ate them and got powers. That is so much more entertaining than this.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, guys.
Yor just said his kryptonite is negging.
Yeah, you suck ass.
He just gets negged. He's like, yeah, hey, Sentry, you suck. Oh, he just leaves. Like
he just he looks, he's floating in the middle of the air with his cape flowing. He's like, damn dog, and then flies away.
Yeah. As he's going, he's like taping eyeliner on his face and shit.
Did you see like somebody like Thanos like attacking Earth and shit like that? And he shows up to take him out. You got all the Avengers standing around. They've been beat the shit out of, and then all Thanos he's like, hey, you suck. Oh
yeah. All Thanos has to do is go Sentry, more like Gatry, and then he would fucking.
And he would leave. And
go home, eat some Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah,
I can see Cap and Iron Man looking at each other like, did that just happen?
this giant pussy. What is he doing? I'm gonna kick his ass later.
Yeah.
But yeah, the entire thing also with this guy is like we were talking about earlier. Is hobble. I don't really understand the Void. That's the thing though, because it's not I'm not really up on that part.
And so to during the storyline with like the Dark Avengers and stuff, to keep the Void under his own thumb, like Osborn had Sentry's wife killed.
Yeah.
Does Sentry even care?
Well, that's how they keep him under wraps. She's not actually good.
And then during Siege, he was the big part of the attack on Asgard, and him and Thor fought during that, and so he asked Thor to kill him. So even
wow, even he knows he's a shit ass character.
Yeah. And see, the other two things, like the Horsemen of Apocalypse and the Marvel Legacy stuff, I didn't know about that. I thought he was just dead after.
Oh no! He gets that Thor, they put him into the sun,
Yeah.
his dead body.
Yeah.
To make sure he doesn't come back and he's actually dead. But no, this guy is still overpowered. He does not die in the sun.
Yeah.
He keeps dying and regenerating is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's
And
kind of
then-
fun.
That's how he sort of gets rid of the void, because the void gets so fucking bored of just hanging out in the sun all day. He then his little mind, whatever, just fucks off and goes somewhere else, and so the void's not part of him anymore. So he's just an overpowered normie again.
Yeah, like the void like jumps around to different people's minds and shit like that now. Just
Yeah, he's like it's like his own entity or something. He willed it into being or something. I don't know how that works, but
well, he is a Sentry. I'm sure he could just blink and
yeah, I mean he's overpowered. Why not? He can just make new. He can just make new universes. Apparently,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
it's sort of what happened when people were like, oh, the Sentry, who the fuck is that? Oh, then all of a sudden everyone remembers who the Sentry is, and then oh no, it gets all wiped again. No one remembers who the Sentry is.
Yeah.
That's how they explain why he wasn't around for 70 years.
The chat's like having a good time. Gas, trash talk, my only weakness.
Yeah.
Confidence lagging, willpower failing. Oh god.
It's actually a good premise for some cosmic horror shit. Like, I suppose, but like I said, the problem with Marvel is that the more they keep going on, the more they have to like one up everything. So they just keep creating overpowered people.
In all honesty,
And then
the Void is a good villain character. Like it would be a good kind of like a world-ending kind of threat. You know, take out the whole Sentry, take the whole Sentry thing out of the equation. That would be a good
like
threat.
he's saying, cosmic horror, just make it some sort of entity from deep space that just comes out of nowhere.
Right.
Doesn't even live in the galaxy, like that blank space in between galaxies or whatever.
Yeah, it'd be similar to like the entities in like Green Lantern, like the parallax entity and things like that.
Yeah.
It basically starts off like the Void preys on people's fears and shit like that, and eventually the worlds get destroyed because of the fear that it
Yeah, that's how they why you can neg the fucking Sentry, because the Void's in there telling him like, yeah, you're a piece of shit, because he's inside his head all the time.
Oh yeah, so you basically like when you somebody calls him a jackass, and the Void's in there like, hey, they called you a jackass, you dumb shit.
Pretty much, yeah. The Void is basically like reaffirming, like, yeah, you actually are a piece of shit, you son of a bitch, go kill yourself, kind of thing.
He's a true SJW hero.
He hasn't raped anyone, as far as we know. So,
if only he didn't use mean words. That's yeah, because
mean
words is violence. So
Yeah.
maybe why not? That'd be his new power, is that he can mean things too.
But like I said, I did this on purpose. I picked this character because you said that America Chavez was the worst character.
You were trying to one up me here.
Yeah, I said I got use for you, big guy.
Yeah, like America has no reason to exist, and like I don't know, her character flaws quote aren't like, he's got character flaws because he's a fucking druggy, and he can be negged to death basically. America is just sassy Puerto Rican chick who
America gave us way more to work with to fix her story, basically.
Yeah, which is really something considering there wasn't much there either. But
yeah.
There was at least
even
premises.
I'm like, I got nothing. This is retarded. Like,
yeah.
It was a cute gimmick, but
essentially, I think if they had done a character, basically what they were trying to do is they were trying to do a version of Supreme, but for the regular Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And Supreme is like that is a Marvel property, but what it is, it's like not on the Marvel Earth. Right, it's not on like 616. It's separate from that, and it's basically because they're called Squadron Supreme, and they're their version of the Justice League. But they're to the extreme of they basically go outside the law and they just do shit because they can. Because who's going to stop us, kind of thing. It's kind of like they tried to go with that, but then Bendis got a hold of it and took it way to the extreme.
Yeah, you need to explain that part too. The part of the reason this guy's a thing is because fucking Bendis is like, yeah, I'm such an excellent judge of character.
Yeah.
And how writing is good. I'm gonna make this guy a thing instead of a throwaway character.
Well, the joke, like I said, the whole thing was he wanted to get rid of Thor was already gone. He was already kind of quote dead. I say quote because nobody's really ever dead.
No, they don't die.
But so he was like basically trying to use a Thor replacement.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, Thor was an actually interesting character. So
here's something I was just scanning through that they try to explain his powers because they don't even realize like the Superstorm. No, he's a magical space being. No, turns out he's Jesus Christ.
Oh,
here's why.
Okay.
During a conversation between Lindy, his wife, Clock, which is the thing that ran like his watchtower that was on top of Stark Tower. That's like his home base kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the Void. It is hinted that the Sentry's powers may come from a cosmic source, or possibly even the Judeo-Christian God. With Lindy believing that his powers were of maybe biblical proportions and theorizing that modern-day superheroes were conduits through which such higher powers now being channeled. When Steve Rogers demands that Norman Osborn tell him how the heroes are to stop the Void, Osborn says, albeit possibly figuratively, that the Void was the angel of death. An earlier biblical flashback has also revealed that the being that brought the divine plagues down on Egypt was apparently similar in appearance to the Void, who millennia later claims to the Sentry when attacking New York that doing so is God's way. Basically, they're interweaving biblical mythology into this guy's powers. That's how fucking overpowered this guy is.
I mean, listen to this. And when they did like the whole thing, weaving him into the Marvel Universe thing, talking about characters' memories of the Sentry and the Void resurface when Reynolds talks with them. The Sentry had taught Angel, Angel, the guy with wings who could fly,
Yeah.
how to conquer his fear of falling.
Yeah, a guy that has wings and can fly.
Peter Parker's photograph of the Sentry earned him a Pulitzer Prize and fame. Now we know that's bullshit because Peter Parker is never he never gets over. He always goes back to jobber status no matter what he does.
Yeah, what didn't he try to be Tony Stark at one point and then fucking went bankrupt?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so he's a punk. That's what. He did not get fame from a picture.
And plus, you can wipe out their memories, but what'd you do? Like, did you go and destroy his Pulitzer Prize too?
All of a sudden, just that year did not happen for some reason.
Yeah, it's like,
and no one remembers it.
In the year 1984, there was no Pulitzer Prize winner.
Yeah, it was just we don't know why. Just they didn't award one that year.
Yeah. It was like nobody.
That's sort of what the whole because the way they did the whole change everyone's reality about not remembering is because Doctor Strange did his magic horse shit.
Yeah.
That's basically how it happened and hit the entire planet and I guess the entire reality of the universe.
Right.
That kind of this a problem. Like I said with Marvel, is just the creating new. It's sort of like in Star Trek when they introduced time travel.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing at that point matters because you can just time travel.
Yeah.
What's the point? Like if you could just will things in and out of existence,
wasn't it?
Why even bother writing a comic?
Because wasn't it in Star Trek? Like I know in Deep Space Nine they introduced what was it called, the Bureau of Temporal Affairs or something like that.
Well, no, that was way before. That was that was in Enterprise, the prequel kind of series.
But I'm saying the first time it was introduced as a concept.
Oh yeah, I think the first actual thing you ever see them is it's like a bureau that it's sort of like their version of X-Files kind of.
Yeah, they go make sure you didn't fuck with the timeline when you went back.
They're trying to police the timeline, make sure people didn't do it, and then the whole the behind the scenes story arc of Enterprise is that there's a Cold War between the Federation, what it is in the future, and then another group of beings, and they're both trying to fuck with the timeline, and that's the backstory to what's going on. They're trying to police it, but the thing is, you can it just doesn't matter. It's what does it fucking matter? Oh, I can just go back in time and save my wife, or
I mean,
why didn't you go back in time and stop the Borg when they were first being started? That kind of
yeah. When you had weapons that could actually destroy the Borg,
Yeah, instead of because nothing that happens after that is serious because you could just rechange it. It will at any time because the writer convenient kind of thing. It's stupid, and that's the same. That's why I don't like Doctor Strange is because his powers are never really explained.
Well, I mean,
it's just magic.
Yeah, it's magic.
Yeah, it's magic. We don't have to explain shit kind of thing. It's well, okay, I get it, magic.
Yeah.
But then put a limit on it.
He should have.
Don't make it so don't make it. He can change everyone on the planet in reality's vision of one fucking guy that no one ever knows.
What it should be, he should have like a kind of like a Green Lantern thing where it's like he has a charge per day and he can only use it like so much during the day, you know?
Yeah, maybe give him. Yeah, they can kind of whip this shit out whenever they needed it. But like, don't even like if you're gonna write a comic series, put like hard limits on yourself.
Well, see, I would see it like somebody like Strange, which I think would be a good because I could say the whole thing is like he's the Sorcerer Supreme, so he's supposed to be responsible, right? So his thing was like, I'm not gonna, yeah. He's like, I can't really go and start fucking changing time, because that's a bad thing to do,
well, like when I say put limits on yourself, maybe you have the ability to do it, but like don't do it.
Right. That's what I mean. That's like
the doctor like ethically I can't do that kind of shit.
It's like basically, I can do it, but I'm not going to, kind of thing, because there's unintended consequences in doing shit like that.
Oh, listen, bitch, I'm not going to enact the labor.
Yeah, exactly. It costs too much. It's gonna cost you $15 an hour if I do this, dude. I mean, you don't think you really want to?
No, yeah, like, dude, you can't afford me, old man.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've been kind of thinking about it most of the day, and I was like, the only thing I could see doing with Sentry is like a major depower.
Yeah,
like the idea of like some fucking drug addict getting super. Like if he just got rid of like the regular Captain America super serum.
Yeah.
And where he was just like, maybe twice as fast as a normal human and twice as strong, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And maybe like, yeah, that makes sense because then he'll like get hooked up with some like adventure team, either Avengers or X-Men or something, and then kind of like do stuff. And because the thing is, during like, he's like he's not good at fighting. He's strong as shit, overpowered, but like he keeps fucking up when he's fighting. He's like breaking buildings and. And he's always apologizing for that kind of thing. Like, if you had him, like, just sort of depowered and he kind of like, we blew up a fucking ball for some reason on accident. So my bad, dude.
Yeah. Kind of like the opposite of Superman. I'm not talking about, Man of Steel Superman, from the movieverse. I'm talking about, like, where he actually, like, over time, he's developed kind of a fighting ability. It may not be like what we would call, martial arts or anything like that, but, it was like basically, okay, I know to do this to take this guy kind of thing out without doing a bunch of property damage. Basically, I'm not going to hit him into a building, kind of thing.
I'm not gonna fling the Hulk into a fucking skyscraper because that's a bad idea. Because it'll kill 10,000 people living there.
Yeah. So maybe if I throw him up in the air, kind of thing, and then
or in the fucking ocean. They're always in New York, so there's always an ocean nearby. They can just throw them in the ocean.
Yeah. Now see, we've been joined by Jordan. Hello.
Hello.
You think you sneak in? I wouldn't notice.
I mean, I've done it before.
Yeah, but I noticed this time. I've been keeping an eye on stuff.
One thing, here's an interesting consideration. You're talking about martial arts. If you are a super being, right? Like, say, even like Captain America's strength, like he's not like overpowered or anything, but he's just really strong.
Yeah.
Normal martial arts wouldn't work.
Yeah, because
they're based on two equal opponents being roughly similar, and But if you can fling a guy into the ocean,
it's like,
why would you need to know Krav Maga? You know what I'm saying?
Right? Yeah, it's like, I know it'd be like, like somebody say, I'm gonna do my CQC on Captain America, and he just hits you with his shield.
Yeah, like, you could be the best fighter on the planet, like the most hardcore Navy SEAL dude who's been in
Mike
action.
Tyson wouldn't have a chance against Captain America, is what we're kind of getting at.
Yeah, Captain America would just like headbutt you and you're fucking out.
Or even just punch you because, just a regular punch from a guy like Captain America would just probably kill you.
Here's the thing, is like when super beings fight each other, they're always of different abilities. Some can fly, some have lasers.
Yeah. So
some have fucking claws come out of their hands weird.
Or you're the Sentry and you just do everything.
Or you're the Sentry and you just will things to happen.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like, if he could will things to happen, couldn't he will that mall that he destroyed not to be destroyed?
Yeah, well, because he's always in the future, like slightly ahead. He could just like, oh wait, I'm going to actually destroy a mall full of 1,000 people and their livelihoods. I better not do that.
Yeah, I better not like knock this guy into the mall, and maybe that parking garage would be a better idea. Kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, no one likes parking garages. Fuck that place.
Exactly.
It looks like shit all the time.
How much how much of it is bullshit have you heard, Jordan? Because
I just joined in, so I didn't catch any of this bullshit.
Okay, well, yeah. Basically, last week Cap said that there was not a worse character than America Chavez, and I said, well, my friend,
Yeah, my whole thing with America Chavez is she was an irredeemable character. Like, there's no retconning. They just fucking write her out of existence.
Right.
So he was
Because I mean,
basically
you can do that. That's what happened to Sentry. He was written out of existence, and all of a sudden he shows back. Why can't we do that? Doctor Strange, please.
So you're saying that he's so powerful that you can't even write him out of existence?
Basically, dude, his wife was talking to the fucking Avengers and stuff. Said he may be God.
Yeah.
And the Void might be the angel of death, aka Satan.
Oh God, the duality of man.
Yeah, he's literally Yahweh and Satan put together. Like, it's like, calm the fuck on.
See, that's good. Seth made a good point in the chat. It says Sentry would be better if he only had access to one of his powers at a time.
Yeah, that would make him more compelling.
Yeah, if you could rotate him out, or if it like randomly happened.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. Like he needs super strength, but then all he can do is fly. But then so he gets like his ass kicked.
or he needs to get somewhere real fast, but he can't fly. But he can has his laser vision or some horse shit, and he has to take a fucking bus to the fight. that would be funny.
I had to get the number 7 to downtown.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the number 7 bus will be late today, so
he was in the Avengers, right? So Tony Stark was like, "Where the fuck you been, Rob?" It's like, dude, the bus was late.
Nigga, why you taking the bus?
I was on the bus, goddammit.
Yeah, that would be like that's the whole like when I try to retcon some of these people, it's like make them more like not, I guess, human, because most of them are human anyway, but or relatable. Like this guy, like, okay, he's got superpowers, but he still has to deal with horse shit. That's what makes Spider-Man so good. Everyone thinks he's a dick and treat him like an asshole, Peter Parker.
Yeah.
But he's Spider-Man.
Right.
He's not overpowered, but I mean,
yeah.
People, he's got things to deal with.
I mean, and he kind of does more with his limited abilities. I mean, I say limited. I mean, he's got the proportional strength of the spider and all that sort of stuff. And you know, but the thing is, you could make an argument that as far as heroes go, he does more than some of the big time heroes do.
Yeah, he's more interesting.
The
entire point.
He's willing to put it on the line because he knows he could actually die doing this. You know,
yeah, like that's why Batman's been a thing for 70 years. Because Batman is just a normie. I mean, he's a very good normie, but
he's a sad boy.
He's a sad boy and a normie. But the thing is like he's still got shit to deal with, even though he's like, some of it's like kind of like, oh, he's at a space station, he's massively wealthy and hot as hell kind of thing, right? Whatever. But he's still like, oh, his parents died and he gets his ass kicked a lot because he's still a normal dude.
Yeah, but he'll come.
And that's why he's interesting.
But he'll keep coming. That's kind of his, his tenacity and thing like that. So. But yeah,
like the Sentry, all you have to do is call him a gay and he'll run away.
Yeah.
You call Batman a gay, he'll just be like, okay, and then punch you in the head.
Yeah, that Jordan, you missed that. It's like basically we figured out that Sentry's big weakness is negging him.
Yeah.
You can literally neg him and he'll fucking leave a fight.
Yeah, basically like what was it? They said that the Void told him that he was that everything was his fault, and he's like, "Oh God, you're right," and he left. He's fucked off.
Yeah, like this is the guy that can turn the tide of any fight he's in. It'd be like say World War II, Battle of the Bulge. Patton's trying to come to relieve the troops, right? Yeah. And then some German general radios Patton and calls him queer.
And Patton turns tail.
Patton, like he gets all sad for a week and he decides not to fight, and then
you see
that's what happens.
I'm just thinking. Now I'm just imagining depressed Patton just sitting in his tent, like, oh man,
he called me a big gay. I can't do anything about it. Fuck, I'm finished. I will never recover.
That kind of son of a bitch called me queer. I can't deal with it.
And since his wife won't be there, you got Omar Bradley coming in and said, "Damn it, George, you need to get back in there and go fight."
Queer.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. And he goes back and starts fighting again.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's another thing, Jordan. Like you said, just explain it since you just got here. A lot of the times in the storylines that they put him in, it was mostly taking him out of the equation in some way, shape, or form.
That's how you know you got a really good character.
Yeah, it was some way how to deal with, like, they're trying to, every time he shows up, they're trying to depower him basically because he's so fucking overpowered.
Like one guy, the Molecule Man, literally erased him.
Yeah, and Thor had to put him in the sun.
Yeah, Thor put
his
him into
dead
the sun.
body.
His dead buddy in the sun, and he got better from that.
And his wife even knew about all this. Like
His
how
wife literally
much-
told Tony Stark, "You need to kill my husband."
Yeah, you need to. He's overpowered, and you need to kill him. Turns out you can't because Thor put him in the sun, and he just sits there hanging out like I don't know.
Yeah, what was the whole
sipping,
thing? He's like he was hanging out
fucking monster.
with his void monster, and they were just like fighting in the sun or some dumb shit. Like,
No. That was how the void like left him. Finally, was the void got so fucking bored that he just left, even though he's
it's
like
supposed to be a part of him. Yeah.
Yeah, like Rob Reynolds is basically schizophrenic.
Yeah.
That's like his thing. He's a drug addict and he's a schizophrenic. But the void just like
Okay, so what I'm getting about the Sentry is he's basically just a less interesting version of Legion.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I need to know. Never mind. All right, we're good.
So, whereas Legion has multiple personalities, he has like the two.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
Right,
he's
right,
just
right.
Rob
And the
Reynolds and then the void.
Yeah, it's the good and the bad, essentially. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the void comes from him being like his origin story is him being like a drug addict looking for a fix, and that's why he got the super serum.
The original origin story was that it was like some accident that he got it, but I do like that retcon that he got it from he got it from actually being a drug addict. And
Yeah, that's the thing is that there's been like several retcons of the guy because he literally did not exist, and then they brought him back.
essentially having to keep telling this over and over, it's because it's so silly. When Paul Jenkins created the character, the whole idea was like, okay, I'm going to do this story where it's about this character who has, quote, been in the Marvel Universe the entire time. Everybody forgot about him for some cataclysmic reason, you know, that would be explained in the story. And then afterwards, everything goes back to status quo, right? That was the original
Yeah, he
story
literally
of the
did not
series.
exist. Then he exists.
And then he didn't
But he
exist.
always
So why does
exists,
he
and then
have so
doesn't
many
exist.
retcons if he was like a one-off disposable character to begin with?
Because Brian Michael Bendis is a fucking moron. That's why.
Yeah, because he's a gigantic hack. That's why. That's it's pretty much the reason. Like,
Okay, I want to remind everybody, this is the man who created Riri Williams.
yeah,
Okay?
that's what I was saying earlier. It's like he's such a good judge of characters. He's like, yeah, I gotta have the Sentry. That's fucking dope.
Yeah.
And then, it didn't work out. Let me invent Riri Williams because this is such a better idea. It's only like marginally better
And
idea.
you know what? Fuck everything. I'm going to DC and I'm gonna write Superman, you know, their flagship character, and I'm gonna fucking make that Krypton got destroyed by something that had nothing to do with like it just like being an unstable piece of shit planet. You know? I'm gonna invent this new fucking villain that's like way stronger than Superman and everything. It's gonna be great. And everybody hates it.
I mean, in his defense, everybody hates fucking Superman to begin with because he's kind of a boring character.
Well, but the origins though, you know, the origins make sense.
Well, yeah.
They've turned Superman into. That's sort of my point with this guy because Superman is overpowered, but like this guy is overpowered in terms of Superman. Like
He's actually, if you look at the power set, he's more powerful than Superman.
he would whip Superman. Like if it was a 1-on-1, he would kick Superman's ass unless Superman called him a queer or something. Said he was fat. You know?
Hey, Sentry, you suck, goddamn. And he was
Could you imagine? Fucking imagine Superman calling a guy gay.
Yeah.
Just mustering all of the hate that he doesn't have in his heart to be like, you're a fucking faggot.
Yeah, and then
Just the most insincere thing, and Sentry still goes, "Shit, he's right. I gotta leave."
I can see the panel too. It's written with a lot of like dot dot dots. Like Sentry, you're a big gay.
Big gay.
And he just stops in his tracks. Like,
Yeah, he just stops and then when he flies away, Superman, and he's like, he does the smug Wojak like face and just like, yeah, eat shit.
okay, you remember, you know, and I know, like I said, this is brief, but you remember that that one Godzilla movie, the Terramecha Godzilla, where Godzilla was fighting that Titanosaurus monster, and they were throwing down, and then all of a sudden, like the machine breaks, and Titanosaurus just stops what he's doing and walks off. And Godzilla's looking at him like, "What?
What just happened?"
That's exactly what happens with the Sentry. You just call him a big gay, and it's like,
Yeah, that's what happened. They were in the Savage Land fighting the Skrulls or whatever, right?
Yeah.
and this
One makes fun of him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm out."
Yeah, the manifestation of the void say, "Yeah, this is all your fault." He's like, "Damn dog, you're right," and he leaves. I was like, "Wait, you know this thing is evil. Why are you believing it?"
And not only that, it's like, no, this has nothing to do with you.
Yeah,
It's the Skrulls.
for once, this
Doesn't
has
have a
literally nothing to
vagina.
do with you. Yeah.
Yeah, this is how like that's another problem with this character is that he has no cohesion.
Yeah, there's no.
Oh,
It's just
God
all over the
damn it. Oh, Jesus, fuck. Oh,
What is it?
dog just farted.
And now we have the most interesting thing about Sentry in this podcast.
He smells like a dog fart.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to say, this rank-ass dog fart is a better character than fucking...
Jesus.
I'm
Fucking
about to
oof.
get a dressing down, so
Oh,
wait for
God, I
that.
think it's in my mouth.
Oh, it's in my mouth. That's great.
So glad that we got that on stream.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my God. He's sitting right at my feet just looking at me like, what the fuck is your problem? You're fucking stinky.
I mean, what the fuck is your problem?
Because you just busted ass, you dumb dog. What's wrong with you?
Oh, this dog writes for Marvel.
Oh, damn dog. That's a good one.
This dog can fart better than Bender's rights.
God damn.
Oh, God. I just thought of something. Okay, imagine this. Okay. Imagine, Goku in Dragon Ball fighting, a character, right?
Are we about to go into some bullshit?
No, I'm just saying. Now, think about this. Goku, even rudimentary knowledge of Goku know that he's like, very powerful, loves to fight. Like that's one of his big things. He loves to fight. So he's taking on this villain, and this villain says, "Hey, Goku, what? You're gay.
You have dumb hair.
You have dumb hair." He just stops in mid fight, like,
You Super Saiyan, more like super gay.
Yeah. And he just he slowly starts depowering as he's
he just fucking walks off panel.
Yeah. He can't even fly. Can't even control his ki anymore. Can't even fly. He's just like, I don't even know anymore. He's just like, he made fun of my hair. He called me gay. I mean, he's mumbling to himself the whole time, and everybody's looking at him like, yeah. I can see the Z fighters doing the whole Goku. Why? God, it's so stupid. Jeez. And like I said, it's really hard to come up with something to make this character compelling. Like, unless it's like you have like something like making his powers work one at a time, or
you had the baseline to redo this character. You have to depower his ass massively.
Oh yeah. I would put him at like if I had to put him in a level, it would be very early, like right after the Crisis Superman power. And that's like, that was like the weakest Superman. You know what I mean? Like, super strength and vulnerability.
You can still give him like a massively overpowered power, but like, what was the suggestion? How one at a time? Like he can fly really fast, or he can shoot massive lasers that'll knock out anything, but he can only do one at a time.
Yeah.
You can't just combine it all at will.
I mean,
here's how you do.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna say, here's how you do it. Make this motherfucker an actual boomer. Mm-hmm. His powers, he doesn't have the powers. They're all in his fucking ride-on lawnmower, and they're different buttons, and he can only activate 1 or 2 buttons at a time. Also, the main restriction is gasoline because it uses like fucking diesel and some shit. Mm-hmm. And so he's got to make sure he has enough money to pay for all that goddamn gas.
He doesn't have a great job. He's only working like $9 an hour.
Yeah.
He looks like the picture you showed him. He does look like the boomer character. You put like a weird stash on him, give him a sips. Mm-hmm. He's the boomer. Oh, he's got the dad bod. And
even better. And I just thought of a caveat to that. Jordan.
Yeah, by all means.
If he doesn't mow the lawn every week, he loses his powers.
Yes.
Yeah, if it's not done before 10 a.m. on Saturday.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's got to be done before 10 a.m. on Saturday. If it's not, he loses his powers for a week. That's great.
So when it's 9 o'clock Saturday morning, and you hear the Offspring blaring out in the fucking backyard. Rob's up this old shit again.
Now there's old Rob Reynolds mowing his lawn at 7 a.m.
That's massively more interesting than the original Sentry.
I mean, the one thing I would keep would be that he was a drug addict.
Yeah, making like a fucking degenerate.
Like the fact that like it wasn't just an accident that caused it. He actually like was trying to get high and he drank the wrong thing.
Yeah, that he's not literally Jesus Christ in human form.
Yeah, he just like literally like accidentally became a hero, and then like haven't been really like for a few years he'd just be really bad at it because he's a screw up.
Yeah, it'd be like
make him like a not smart Tony Stark. Like
yeah, he just does
all the bad things about Tony Stark, none of the good things.
Like he picks up a house and like throws it at a villain, not realizing there's
yeah,
people in
people
the
have
house.
to explain. Yeah, then some other like Thor's have to explain. It's like, look, dude, there's people living there.
Yeah. Like he hits a
they
dude
worked
with a
all their
bus.
lives to own that house. You just fucked it all up.
Or he like he like throws a bus at a guy and like but there were people on the bus, so he killed like 30 people. Like,
yeah, then you had like the government on his ass trying to put him in fucking jail all the time.
even though they really couldn't, but
well, like maybe he's still got outstanding warrants for drug possession. Trying to get him.
Like, literally one of the most powerful people on earth, he gets put in jail on a possession charge.
Yeah,
he's like, oh shit, he was holding.
Well, it's like with the Superman when he's like being held accountable by the government. He willingly does it because it's the right thing to do. It's the constitutional authority of the land. He has to abide by it, kind of thing.
Let's see.
Make him do that.
Yeah.
But like also he sit there like son of a bitch. I'm in jail because I did drugs 10 years ago, and I could bust through this wall right now. But I'm gonna try not to be an asshole.
Let's see. Seth says, "What if he was a perfect, overpowered hero, but threw it all away for drugs? So he'd be Miracle Man?
He would be Snowflame.
Oh, Snowflame. Yeah.
Oh, dude. All right. Here's a retcon I think would work. The whole like going to jail thing, kind of a throwaway jokey thing, but make that actually happen. Like he willingly gets put in jail. And his condition for parole would be he has to work for the government, kind of thing, right?
So Suicide Squad,
sort of like, but he gets put like on furloughed, kind of too. He gets loaned to the Avengers or some other team, right? That kind of or Shield or something that works for the government.
Yeah.
So he does that, but the whole thing is a farce. Like he knows, like he does not have to listen to the government, but he does it because he's trying to do good. Because he fucked up so bad in his old life, he's trying to do the good thing, even though there's nothing really stopping him.
And the Avengers kind of figured that out like early on that like, well, he really the government he really couldn't. How do I say it? There's no way nobody could hold him in jail if he didn't want to be in jail, kind of thing.
Yeah, and there's some people that don't like get it, like maybe a Hawkeye or they're like, what are you doing? He's like, dude, I'm trying to like this is I'm trying to be good here, man. Come on, don't fuck with me.
He's like, I'm literally trying to live that great power, great responsibility kind of thing, like.
Yeah, trying to, and he still fucks up, and then the government like gets on his ass and
adds
like
time to his sentence.
Throw buildings.
Yeah, adds time to his sentence or some dumb shit like.
Yeah, they just like the
basically,
government.
Anytime like like we always joked about like property damage in comics, how it always gets brushed under the rug. Well, with him, it'd always be a big thing. It's like you destroyed like $100,000 worth of property here, you dummy, and
it'd
pay for
be
that
like
shit.
80s cop. Yeah, it'd be like 80s cop movies where the captain's always pissed off because they shut up a neighborhood.
Damn it, Callahan.
Yeah, he's always at the end of the thing. He's got like his government handler, like some dude from the army, always bitching at him for fucking up a neighborhood or something.
Yeah, like you ruined like 15 houses this week or something.
And that's the way, like that's the one thing, like his negging is his like one weakness.
Yeah,
is like people like in charge, like dude, you keep fucking up, stop being a fuck up, and then he thinks he's a fuck up, and he's trying to
do right,
and has like self doubt that way.
And his whole thing is like he tries too hard, and that's when he fucks up.
Yeah, he's like, oh man, I want to get the Hulk now, but no, he actually blew up a airport.
Yeah. Yeah, he
killed
knocked the Hulk into a boarded airplane, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not in
he somehow sunk an aircraft carrier. Yep.
Yeah. Yes, actually, yeah. Accidentally knocked the Challenger out of the air. Oof. Yeah, I went there. I went there on that one.
Too soon,
How very dare you go there?
Well, I mean, it's been 30 years. I think it's okay to make some jokes.
No, man, too soon.
Too soon.
Too soon.
Wait till you hear my Titanic jokes next week.
Oh no, you can't. I can't.
Can I make a few Holocaust ones already?
As long as I can make some Hindenburg ones.
But I think that's about it you can do with the Sentry, man. Like,
yeah, I don't really see. I mean, like I said, I think
you have to have a massive limiting factor on him.
Yeah, you got to put a limiter on him of some kind,
and keep him as a fuck up, and then drop the entire Void thing. Make the Void his own thing.
Yeah, just make the Void an enemy, kind of thing.
that he fights occasionally. Yeah, he doesn't need to be. Oh, I'm literally the Void.
No, his thing would
I'm
be
my
like
own
the irony of ironies is he's the big screw up and everything, but he's literally the only guy who could beat the Void.
Yeah, he's power enough to actually fight the Void.
Yeah, but he's such a screw up that he even fucks that up sometimes.
The Void being what he is, he just kind of like he fucking psychologically negs him, and that's how he gets.
He's basically saying, you're gonna like the whole time they're fighting, you're gonna screw this up, Robbie.
Yeah, you're a big fuck up. You're gonna get millions of people killed because you're a dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, so when he's fighting, he's not putting it all into it because he doesn't want to fly through a fucking building or something.
Yeah, like he gets an idea to like maybe I can destroy him in a nuclear reactor or something like that, and the Void's like, yeah, that's a great idea. Put me in a nuclear reactor where I could cause like all this fallout and stuff like that, like and it's.
His whole idea was always his idea was to solve all his problems is to throw it into the sun.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you throw the wrong thing into the sun and it collapses it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You have no solar system.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, good job, Robbie. You fucking destroyed us all.
7 million people.
You literally killed us all.
That sort of could be like a episode where you do the time travel things. Like, oh, shit, I collapsed the star.
Oh, yeah, then you can actually do the whole turn back time Superman style thing. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, then you can go back in time to stop him from doing it, or change it somehow, and then make it like a one-off, not an entire.
You could have a whole thing where it actually shows how powerful he actually is, and
yeah, like he does for like 1 second. He gets like 100% of his power.
Yeah,
and that's the only way you can fix it. Though.
Turns back time and like stops himself from doing something stupid, kind of thing.
Yeah, even though he's trying to do a good thing, so he ends up having to like fight himself, basically.
Yeah, trying to convince himself because the present. I guess you could say the present one would be like, oh no, a evil doppelganger kind of thing. It's like, no, dummy, it's you.
Yeah,
it's me.
You would think he was the Void or someone like, oh no, he's coming to neg me again.
Yeah. See, that would be the ultimate neg when you get negged by yourself. He's like, you idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be like the thing. He's fighting himself and he's trying to neg himself, and then he realizes, wait a minute, and then he just the way he solves it is he just actually like talks to himself and like, look, dude, you're a fuck up, but you're not that bad.
Yeah, you're trying.
And you're trying your best, man, but you just gotta like just fucking pay attention to what you're doing.
Yeah, take it down a notch, kind of thing. And that could be kind of like his starting to growth, like, oh, I can.
Yeah, then he starts to figure it out, like, oh, I can't throw a bus all willy nilly whenever I feel like it.
Mm-hmm. And you can throw an empty bus, that's fine, but not
one full. Throw the bus, do it, but make sure there's no one in it.
Yeah, but please let the people disembark before you toss the bus. and if it's the other version that we were talking about, you might need that bus later to get to Avengers Tower.
Yeah. So, like, dude, you might have to take that bus next week to get to the next fight. Fucking Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, you don't want to lose the 7A, to Madison Square because.
Also, he would not be located in New York. If he's gonna fight and do stuff in New York, I would make him. He lives in fucking Newark.
Oh, in New Jersey.
Yeah, across the border and river and everything to New Jersey. So lives in the fucking hood with his wife.
So he lives in hell on earth, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, well, like what Jordan said, he's like a boomer. So
yeah,
he lives in like some mildly shitty neighborhood in Newark, New Jersey, because he can't afford anything else, and his wife's always fucking giving him a hard time because he never works overtime or something, or can't get a promotion.
Yeah,
and that's the thing, like just make him more human. Like this is just like an average millennial guy who's 40 years old now and couldn't go to school because he couldn't afford it, or his degree was useless, so he lives in a shitty house with his wife giving him a hard time. But he's got these powers, but they don't always work the way he wants them to.
And he can't really make money off of it because
Yeah, he can't. Yeah, and then he's also got a fucking warrant for his drug dealing.
Yeah, a 10-year-old.
So he's on the government payroll right now, trying to
work that off.
Not necessarily payroll, but like parole.
Yeah, he's trying to work that.
Yeah, see, this is a way better idea.
Yeah, it is actually. Honestly,
you could actually do something with this. Like I could see you turning it into its own comic for a while, or make it like a mini series.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of explaining it how he is, and then you can just kind of fold him into the regular.
And then you can only bring that's why you only bring him in for like actual world-ending threats kind of thing, and not You know what I mean?
I mean, you can show up as like every once in a while when the Avengers are fighting, you know, fucking Hulk or whatever.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you
Out,
know,
he'll show up.
but you would definitely see him during world-ending events, you know.
Yeah, if like a meteor is about to hit the planet or something,
Or
and
Thanos shows up or something like that.
Yeah, Thanos and his giant purple wiener.
Race realist Thanos is here.
Yeah, Race realist Thanos. Yeah, he shows up and is. And since he's a boomer, he's like, yeah, I get what you're saying, Thanos, but come on, man.
Yeah, he's trying to convince Thanos. Is like, yeah, come on, dude, that's kind of extreme, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're technically right, but just leave the blacks alone. All right.
Thanos comes up, fucking quoting FBI crime statistics.
Yeah, and all of a sudden he snaps his fingers, and there's no more black people in America.
Oh god.
Suddenly, Jackson, Mississippi, just completely disappeared. I don't know why, but I like my idea of race realist.
You should. No, here's the thing: it's like they show like an aftermath. You know how they got Avengers Endgame coming up. It show Jackson, Mississippi, but it's been renamed to Utopia.
Yeah. It turns it into like his perfect city on Earth.
It's like the most prosperous city on Earth now.
All of a sudden, it turns Mississippi from the poorest state in the country to one of the wealthiest.
No, not only that, but like one of the major hubs of the world. You know?
Yeah, it's basically New California.
Good lord.
Oh god, thank you, Thanos. I guess.
He turns Jackson into his own like city state.
City state.
Yeah.
Then the Sentry has to stop him.
Yeah, Sentry's like, come on, man. I understand. Yeah, like they commit disproportionately more crimes, but like there's more to it than that.
Yeah. It's a little more nuanced than you're trying to make it out to be. And he's like pulling out the statistics while they're talking. It's like, I'm showing you right here.
Yeah, he's got his fucking Apple iPad. Just showing you right now.
He turns the screen around. Robbie, look at this. You see this? You look at this graph.
Look at the criminal recidivism rate.
You just say recidivism?
Your recidivism.
Oh, boy.
You say I went too far. I say I didn't go far enough.
You should stop watching The Simpsons, man.
And all Mexicans are gone.
Oh God!
I don't think you went too far enough.
It's just getting worse.
Yeah, and he's like, I can keep going. I can get rid of the Irish too. And he starts snapping his fingers.
Suddenly, nobody.
Wait. You said you could get rid of the Irish?
Yeah.
Fuck them.
All right, come over to my house.
Oh wow.
Let's do this thing tonight, brother.
Well, the problem is when he gets rid of the Irish, then fucking Reynolds over here would be gone because I think Reynolds is an Irish name.
Yeah.
Look how scared he got when I invited him over to my house to eradicate the Irish.
I mean, I would be terrified as well.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's an hour and 20 minutes, which is actually an hour and 15 minutes longer than I thought it would be.
Yeah, we got some entertainment out of this.
Yeah. I told you. The whole thing was like you said that there was no worse character than America Chavez. Like, I don't know about that big.
Yeah,
guy.
you were putting up a challenge. Like, all right, next retcon, try to pick a better character to retcon.
I had an idea, but
my idea was
retconning storylines.
We could do that too. Yeah, we could do a storyline retcon next week. So yeah, we'll decide that.
Never try to one up each other on bad characters ever again. Oh my god.
Hey, dude, can we find a worse character than Sentry? Is it possible? Like, we don't have to do a retcon, but can we find one?
Oh my god.
I'd have to like.
Viper.
All right. This is like an ongoing like bit we need to do. We just need to keep one upping each other with like worse characters.
You just want to make everybody fucking suffer, don't you?
Yeah.
Well,
okay,
I mean,
that's fair.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, that could be. And because I limited myself to Marvel, right?
Oh no, it could be.
So
I would say any of the bigger ones.
Yeah, any of the bigger ones. I think the next one should be Badrock.
Badrock. I don't even know who that is.
It's a Jim Lee creation that he wanted to call Bedrock, but the Flintstones people said, "Nah, fam, you can't do that," and so he named it Badrock.
Good lord.
Is he a caveman?
No, he's a rock man. You
Already, like this reminds me of the thing. I hate the Fantastic.
Just look up Rob Liefeld Bad Rock, and you'll see.
Oh, Rob Liefeld
Yeah.
drew him.
Yeah.
Oh, then he's a good character.
Greatest character ever created.
All right, hold on. I'm looking it up real quick.
Yeah.
So before we fuck off for the night, can I tell you about the magical adventure I had in the conversation I had with Ethan Van Shiver or Skyver?
Yo, you had a conversation with him?
This nigga was actually asking about controllers and shit. And we actually had a decent conversation with me explaining to him that probably for his money, the best controller for him to get is an Xbox One controller.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was fucking amazing. He actually responded.
Oh yeah.
What?
He
To
that you had a controller discussion kind of thing.
Well, yeah, because he had downloaded a bunch of games on Steam, many of which were like Xbox 360 ports.
Mm-hmm.
And he was asking which controller would be the best for it. And I told him, Xbox 360, Xbox One, or PS4 are going to be good. Any one of them will be fine. You just got to pick one. And he said, which one would I recommend? I said, I'd go with the Xbox One just because it's a 360 controller, but just better. Unless you're playing fighting games, then get a PS4 controller.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's amazing that he talked to you, considering that he's a alt-right white nationalist. That's a.
I mean, it's just beneficial that I'm also alt-right.
He doesn't he's only responded to me a couple of times, but usually doesn't because I'm not white enough for him.
Mm-hmm.
Even though my people come from Germany and England, he's really on that alt-right kick.
I don't know. I think the funniest thing he ever responded to is when you called him you're probably the.
You don't sell yourself short. You're probably the greatest human alive.
Oh yeah, because he said am I the greatest what am I? What was it like? Am I the greatest something in comics or something like that? And,
the most well-known person in comics. Or
yeah,
something
am I the most well-known person in comics? And you say you're probably the most well-known person alive.
Yeah, you're probably the greatest. Don't let's not bullshit.
I noticed he'll give a good I give a good like to some ass kissing a little bit there, and he's got to know it's being facetious too because it's just way out there.
Well, when he's doing that shit, he's being facetious. So he's got to know what people are doing it to him.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. He's
he's from New Jersey, but he's not stupid.
Right. So what you're saying is,
I'm saying people from New Jersey are Jersey trash, but
oh man, how dare you?
He's slightly a step above that.
Well, anyway, I think we've nailed everything we wanted to nail tonight.
Wow.
And Ethan said games are a waste of time. I mean, even boomers can wake up sometimes, Mior. That's just
yeah.
I actually love video games, but they are a waste of time. There's nothing. I mean,
there's no doubt that video games are a waste of time. There's no real benefit from it except for your enjoyment.
90% of all human endeavors are a waste of time, but you do it because you like to. So
exactly. So
who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Who cares? No, nobody told me what to do.
Yeah. Unless a boomer tell you what to do.
Oh,
I never sucked no ding dongs.
Never sucked no ding dongs.
I'm glad that you got that reference and didn't think I was just throwing some random bullshit out about my personal life.
Yeah. You picked the wrong neighborhood, globalists.
Smell like demons.
Well, anyway, I think that's enough for tonight. Tune in next week, Monday, hopefully. And we'll see you then. Goodbye.
We're going to do a lot of asphyxiation.